Welcome, welcome, welcome to Stitch Along Friday. You know, I was going to start with, I can't believe it's August already, but you've probably heard that from a number of newscasters and other bloggers, etc. And I'm not going to start that way. I'm going to say, isn't it wonderful that it is August? I have to say, I absolutely love this month for many reasons. One of them is that in the Northwest anyway, things start to cool off in the night, so that when you wake up in the morning, everything's refreshed. And we had a couple of nice rainstorms too over the last couple of days, which really helps our fire situation in British Columbia. So I cannot be the only one that really is looking forward to the fall. As far as stitching is concerned, I know that people like to stitch things that are a part of the season, but I tend to anticipate the fall a little bit. By the time August rolls around, I get that feeling, oh, it's going to be fall soon. And so I start looking at fall objects and fall designs a lot more. Good morning, Pat Henke. Haven't seen you for a while, but I'm glad you're here. Lisa, good morning. Good to see you. Oh, Brenda, good to see you. Also, Brenda Lichtleyer. I love your last name. Donna, good morning. You said you were going to join, and here you are. Thanks. Oh, it's so great. Donna's just finished one of our designs that's going to be released fairly soon, as soon as it gets to Lisa, as soon as the stitch design gets to Lisa, she is going to do some magic with her instructions and is going to make us a lovely leaflet, and I hope that all of you will enjoy it when it gets released. It's not brand new, but it is a stitched version with DMC threads for people to be able to stitch from scratch rather than having to come up with their own ideas. It will be outlined as far as our choices of DMC floss are concerned, so that's going to be really fun. Dorothy, Wendell, I look so bright and cheery. You know, it's funny. I put this on because it reminds me of Mazatlan. I wore this a lot. It's very light and it's sort of tropical looking. And I thought I can get away with it for another couple of, for at least another month here in the Northwest as far as the look is concerned. But I really do feel cheery. I must say I'm not feeling as bright as usual. For some reason, I didn't sleep well last night. And maybe just, actually, I heard from both Petra and Richard that neither one of them slept well last night. So maybe we're connected in some deeper level that we're keeping each other awake. I don't know. But I know that I will be having a little nap towards the middle of the afternoon. But thank you, Dorothy. You make me feel better. Linda Morrison, hello, good to see you. Very good. And Susan, finally, after a whole year, there you are. Oh, that's so amazing. So where have you been for a whole year? That's what we'd like to know. Good that you don't have to answer that, Susan. Honestly, I'm just glad you're here. Wonderful. Tammy Thompson, howdy. Is howdy what they say in your neck of the woods? Howdy sounds almost Texan in a way, like a little cowboy. So maybe you're a cowgirl at heart. Marty, good morning. Hello. Oh, you're melting. I don't blame you for had that feeling. I think that it got very, like, I even have the air conditioning on this morning because it felt very humid here, and I thought this is not like Victoria at all. But in any case, I had to put it on so that it would dry out a little bit inside. So the melting feeling, I get it. I hope you have air conditioning. Jean Morrison, hello from hot and humid Atlanta. I guess we're all kind of under the gun. August is nothing but hot for most people, although we've got some clouds, so it's not going to be too bad here. Are we afflicted by the smoke from the fires? We have been, but right now they're just clouds out there, and I do keep track of it, because we have an air quality alert system here, particularly in the last few years because of fires. And the fires are not coming down here. We had one on the island that was a little bit too close for comfort. And I'm not sure if I mentioned it last week, but it grew from, I think it was a small amount when they first noticed it, 55 hectares. And then it got up to 167 hectares, and then it started to get closer to the water supply. We have a reservoir in the Souk Hills, and apparently they have managed to get control over it. they sent in paratroopers with firefighting equipment to do this because it's a very rocky terrain where our water supply is in the hills. And so we're very glad to hear that the rain that we had this past week has helped douse that fire along with the very brave firefighters. Oh, I thank you for asking about the smoke, but we haven't had any smoke from that at all for some time. Let me see. Okay, let's see who else is here. Sally Savaglio, I haven't seen you for an age. You know, it's funny that I see your name because I've been thinking about a stitching holiday, like a lot. And I don't know, your name just looks like you would come to our stitching holiday if we had one. I don't think we can make one before Christmas. But we might make one after, or we might make, instead of a design that I remember I talked about this, where I would not make a new design, but everyone would bring their own stitching, kind of like a winter stitch-a-thon. Anyway, I'm really thinking about it because I think it's something that everyone is kind of talking about. I saw some other people talking about how wouldn't it be nice if we met all our old friends at a stitching holiday again for Victoria Sampler. And I mean, you know, all it takes is a little organization, right, Lisa? Lisa's groaning because Lisa doesn't live down in Victoria anymore. It makes quite a difference to what she can do and not do. Anyway, I'm really glad Susan is here, Susan Randall, and that you're here too, Sally. That's awesome. Jean, I'm really glad that you've got air conditioning. Thanks, Brenda, for asking. And then Margaret Hardy, hello from Philadelphia. Very good to see you too. I do try to say hello to everyone that first comes on board. I can't always keep that up because I've got other things that I want to talk about, but I love saying hello to people who I haven't seen for a while or people who are just brand new. Tedra, you're from Phoenix, I know. Oh, you had slightly lower temps. So did we. So you're in the west as well, not the west coast, but you're in the west side of the country, of the continent, I should say. And now it's going up to 115 again. Ugh. Okay, stay indoors. Don't be a mad dog and Englishman. Hello, Kathy Bird. Good to see you. Thank you for joining and also for saying hello, because sometimes, you know, we just chit-chat away and we forget all of the things that we wanted to say, and I'm really glad that you're here as well. Tammy says, I can't remember where I picked up howdy. I lived in Texas, Louisiana, and West Virginia growing up, so I guess maybe the Texas part of you. I like it though, it's really cute. Marty said it could be worse. I could be in Florida. Absolutely. Oh, there's another upcoming storm in Florida. Yes, I don't suppose that that's ever going to go away every season. And I know that it's getting to be hurricane, tornado, whatever season. And I, you know, always cross my fingers for all those people that are in the path. So yes, I don't want to be there either. I was thinking of Jennifer and all the people that I've known in Florida. So my heart goes out to you. Hopefully you will weather the storm as you always do. Dorothy Wendell says, my dad used to call these the dog days of August. Yeah, I love that song too. Sally says, both Beth Richard and I want to get together. Exactly. I actually just contacted Beth the other day, or she contacted me back. And she and I said, yeah, well, she lives up in Parksville. So, you know, it's a possibility that we might do it in Parksville for a change. I mean, you know, it's closer to Lisa as well. So I'm still thinking that we might need to do that because we have a lot of acquaintances out there that have come to some of our stitching holidays. So we better make sure that we have lots of room in our hotel, whatever hotel we choose. Tammy says, and my dad says howdy. He lives in Ohio. That's okay. So even in Ohio, they say that. Susan says, sounds wonderful for a stitch along. The stitch along I mentioned was like people come here and then they bring along any design they want to, and like that. Is that what you meant by the stitch along? I think so. And if that's what you meant, I agree. I love the idea too. And really all it is, you know, it's a place to gather, not just for people on the west side of the continent, because there aren't very many stitching events here. A lot of the events take place on the eastern side of the continent. And so it would be wonderful for people who live on this side to be able to get together and have fun together. Oh, that's so good. Wonderful. Oh, Lisa says, oh, a stitching holiday. That would be great. Now to have it. Okay. Marty says, your background is looking better and better. I love seeing the samples again. Been quite a while. Well, Marty, thank you for mentioning it. I think I've had them here now since April. So you're right. It has been a while. And every once in a while I look at it and think, oh, I've got to change those around. But I'm going to keep that down to a dull roar, because at least I have the, like you say, the atmosphere around me. And you can imagine that all my models are here all around, even though they're not. They're carefully still packed away in their acid-free environment. And I have to keep them that way because I'm probably going to have to move out of this apartment and move to probably a slightly bigger place next April. That's my plan, and I'm just going to hope that I can accomplish it, because once I have a slightly bigger place, I can have a larger space for some of these models that I have that I want out. They want out. They're going, help, help. They used to be all out. Anyway, Lisa, I would love to talk to you about the stitching holiday. It's something that I thought about. Richard was even saying, if you want to have a stitching holiday, why don't you do it in Mazatlan in the spring when it's really, really nice out here? And I thought, well, it's a thought. Kate, give me your feedback. Stitching holiday in around Sydney, where I live, which is close to Victoria and the ferries and the airport and all that, or stitching holiday in Parksville, which is not quite as close, but they're maybe an hour away from everything, or stitching holiday in Mazatlan, which is on the coast of Mexico. So you tell me, what would you like? I mean, if I get a few answers, it'll be interesting. I'm not decided on anything yet. I'd love to hold it in Canada, but I mean, Mexico is Mexico. There's some beautiful beaches down there and some lovely resorts. I can tell you that much. I've been to some of them and they're just stunning. Aw, thank you. Ohio, there we go. Let's see. I've got to just check on all of the people that have said something. Judy says the Eastern area has many more stitching groups, much better than when I was in California. Exactly, Judy. And I mean, I'm on the West Coast, so it's possible to have one here that everyone would really appreciate. Hello, Lynn, Molitor, sorry. Good to see you. Okay, Judy, I gotcha. Northwest sounds better than Mexico. She prefers the cooler weather. Okay, so I just want you to know that the weather in the spring, like in February or March in Mazatlan, was around 72, and glorious beaches, warm water in the ocean. You know, it's like a holiday then. But not everybody wants to go to the beach. Tedra says, I'd like to see Sydney and be close to the airport, etc. And Sydney is spelled with an I, not like the Australian Sydney, but yes, I hear what you're saying. I would prefer to be here too. Dorothy asked me if I stitched all the samples in the background yourself. I have stitched absolutely every single one of our samplers. All the samples in the whole Victoria Sampler catalog that are mine, that are my designs. I have stitched them all. That is how I design. And that's actually why I haven't designed as many as some other people do, because I'm not used to having other people stitch my designs. So yes, and I've had to do that for my own peace of mind, because I want to see if what I'm suggesting works. And it's very difficult to do when you're not sort of right there, when you can see the colors beside each other. So it is just how I design. And yes, I've stitched a lot. It's surprising actually that I don't have more arthritis or whatever in my hands after all the stitching I've done. Let's see. Yes, let's talk about soon. Oh, Lisa likes the idea. Oh, good. And Tedra wants to see Sydney. Yes, Northwest sounds better. I miss Victoria, so let's see. Oh, I've got to just see. Oh, Sally, Sydney or Parksville. Mexico would be more expensive? Oh, I did not know that. Okay, I thought it was, yes, passports would be required to go to Mexico. That's true. Susan, I miss Victoria very much, but anywhere you go, oh. Well, I got Victoria was your preference, and that's it's very nice of you to say that. Oh, I miss you, that's for sure. And yes, you would need to have but you'd probably also need a passport for for Canada, if you're in the States, you're going to need a passport to get across the border if you are flying. If you are driving, I think a driver's license is still okay, but you better check. Let's see. Made it late. Hello, Joanna Fuson. You made it, though. We're talking about having a stitching holiday, and we're chatting back and forth, so forgive me if I just keep looking at the chat for just a little longer before I carry on. Sydney or Parksville. Lisa's first choice would be Parksville. Yep. Passports will be required for Sydney too if you come up from the state. Yeah, if you're flying. That's right, Tedra. So thank you. Everyone has actually pretty much answered my question. Mexico is not the biggest option. It wouldn't be mine either necessarily, but a lot of people go down to Mexico to holiday, particularly on the coast where there is an ocean and lots of ocean type activities and margaritas. I mean, those are good. But I guess we can have a margarita up here. It'll depend. Here, there's a lot more rain, and there would be more sunshine, but I guess rain is more conducive for stitching. So we're talking more stitching than holidaying. And maybe those of us who are here are not as fond of swimming anymore. I'm just not sure. That's why I thought I'd ask. Okay, Joanna, stitching holiday. Sally says, when do you plan to ship your Halloween piece I just designed, which is the, what do you call it? The spooky something. What do I call this? Spooky treats. That's right. That will be sent out as soon as the kits are made. We have decided to do pre-sale so that we could have an exact idea of how much inventory to buy. And this is actually an idea that really some other people have too. I used to have inventory places to put my inventory, and now that I don't have that storage in my previous abode, we really can't have any inventory at all, so that's how we did it. So now Lisa, I believe today, is going to be doing a lot of ordering, and she is going to put all the stuff together. I'll be doing the printed leaflets, and we're all going to Lisa and I are going to get together at her place to send them out, hopefully I was going to say mid-September, and hopefully that will be sent out then. So that takes another 2 weeks maybe to get to you. So by the end of September, many of those kits will be delivered. Those who are international, it might take a little bit longer, but hopefully it'll get there sometime in the beginning of October. Okay? There you go. Lisa's already put that there. And when she said before the end of September, it's because we're very careful not to make promises that we can't keep. But our intention is to do it at the beginning of September as opposed to the end. It'll depend on whether we get our materials in. All of them have to be here before we can make the kits. Okay, that gives you an idea of what we're up to. Okay, Sally, great. Let's see. Oh, this is so great. So I've talked about the holiday. I also have another idea, which is that I would like to put together a actual kit for a different bling tree. We can call it, as a working title, Bling Tree 2, if you want. TOO. The first bling tree that we did, we had a number of items that were in there that were really, really cool, but most of them are now discontinued. So I was thinking it would be so fun to be able to have a kit that we could do the same thing with as Spooky Treats, that we could basically put on pre-sale and have the ingredients ready to ship around Christmas. And I was wondering how you all thought of a different bling tree. And believe me, it would not be the same because the bling tree itself actually had a lot of stitching around the tree. I don't know if you remember, those of you who've done it. But I plan on just making the tree itself rather than, and the tree will be slightly different, but mainly the package with the decorations would include more stuff than you would probably have gotten for the bling tree itself that we did, because we can add more stuff, and that way you get to decorate your tree yourself in completely different ways than we would have done the bling tree. So how do you feel about that? This is another question, and those of you who have answered about the stitching holiday, thank you. You've given us a little bit of encouragement and kind of motivation to see if we can do it. So let's see. Susan says we would love a bling tree. And remember, this is the second bling tree because we already have one. Tedra says, I'd like to see a new Christmas project. Okay, great idea. The thing is that I want to be careful not to take on too much stitching myself because I don't have the room or the hands for it anymore. But there we go. I definitely buy Bling Tree 2. I loved stitching the first one and gave it to my granddaughter. Thank you. New Bling Tree sounds wonderful. Excellent idea. Yes, yes, you could get yourself your own Christmas gift. That sounds like a plan. So we've been really tossing this back and forth, Lisa and Petra and I, and we talked about it, and I thought, okay, I'm going to ask the group, and the group will tell us, you know, if one of you said, well, I've already done the bling tree, it doesn't sound, or you don't say anything at all, I kind of get the idea that this might not be something that people would like. But I have a funny feeling it would be really fun because we get to include things that you didn't see in the previous bling tree, and it would just be different, like a totally different tree altogether. So the next time we gather in this kind of environment, I'm going to ask you what kind of colors you would like to see a new tree in. For now, I'm going to just focus on seeing how we can get this together. It's really fun. Two things, bling tree and stitching holiday. Yay! Excellent idea. So that's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Margaret Hardy, thank you. That's really nice. That's really good to hear. And Jean Morrison, a bling tree too. Oh, Ellen says the same thing. Sounds good. Although I still haven't stitched the original, I have the kit. Excellent. Well, this is the kind of thing. Unless you have the kit, you really can't reproduce what we will put on our tree. So that doesn't mean, though, that you have to put all the things on. That you will get more stuff than you would normally get, so that you can make some substitutions if you feel like it. It's kind of a fun, kind of like a treasure hunt. Kathy Bird would love to make a bling tree too. Kathy, thank you for your answer. Appreciate it. And I don't suppose you would be able to travel here, would you, Kathy? It's a little too far for you to go to Victoria and or Sydney or Parksville for a stitching holiday. So I didn't hear back from you about that question, but I can understand that because you have so many opportunities on the Eastern Seaboard where you are. Okay, good. I wanted to show you just a couple of things before my time is up, which is going very, very fast. What I wanted to show you today was two things. One of them is kind of like some examples of what you can do with pulled work, cut work, and drawn thread. And those kinds of designs are my favorite place to go. When I am stressed out, I would do hardanger in a minute. I would do pulled thread in a minute. And the reason is there's something inside me that loves the tone on tone mixed with other fibers and other even beads and things like that. The richness, it looks to me like, actually it looks a little bit like that TV show or Netflix show called Bridgerton, you know, that elegant Edwardian look, you know, with all of the broken. I mean, I've just finished watching one of the seasons over again because I wanted to see the costumes. They're just phenomenal. The colors, the people who are doing the sets, you know, they are spending an enormous amount of energy on the wealth of beauty, and it is very rich and very deeply embroidered. And so these are the kinds of things that have been inspiring me lately. You're welcome, Marty. Oh, that sounds fun, says Sally. Thank you. Yeah. So I'm going to just, yes, it's a long way to get to you in dollars. Got it, Kathy. Thank you for answering, though. I do appreciate it. It is a long way. So what I wanted to show you was just a couple of designs that kind of give you the idea of some of the projects. And it doesn't mean that this is the project. You know, there's a lot of them that look like this. But this one is the butterfly lace one, and that is not the one that's on the front cover. This is the one that has silk ribbon as a hydrangea. But what I'm most interested in isn't so much the hydrangea or even the very pretty little butterfly. On the front cover, the butterfly looks pink and red and blue. There's a variety of colors on that one. But on this one, you can see all of the wonderful drawn thread down here. This is the same drawn thread as you see on this side up here. And then there is the pulled thread in the middle here. It's a little bit hard to see, I think, because it's white on white. So it's not as easy to show. This one might be a little bit easier. It's also in a big frame, so maybe the frame will allow you to see. Yeah, there we go. Now you can see what I really wanted you to see, which has to do with the pulled thread. This little part here is all pulled thread. Very fun to do, like extremely fun. And then this, of course, is the drawn thread, and then some hardanger, which is the what do you call it, blanket stitch flower. And then there's a fuzzy little bee that is kind of three-dimensional, as you can see, and some silk ribbon flowers. Those are not the most important thing to me. It's this wonderful pattern around the outside of the bee that is all done with blanket stitches. And you know, it's a design like this, just, I love it. And I wanted to show it to you because we are, this month, according to Petra, we're working on going back to school. And it's not our children going back to school, it's us going back to school, because it's September coming up. And I wanted to show you these two pieces that Lisa actually finished for us, and that have been hanging in my behind me for many years. This is one of the wall hangings that contains only 5 of the Beyond Cross Stitch, and one of them is this one. And these are all the floral ones, which honestly I love this one because it gives a real enthusiasm for learning these specialty stitches that you see in the middle of each one of these designs. Okay, I'm not going to be able to stretch any further, so I'll have to shift in a minute. This one is, I think it's called Curled V in a Fan. That middle one is just gorgeous. And then there are, let's see, then there's this one, which, as you know, is the blanket stitch flower, but it also has a spider web in the middle. And then there's this one, which are all partial spider webs and then a dove's eye in the middle. So I'm not exactly sure what this one was called anymore, but it's I think souvrette, or it's like a cookie of the Swedish persuasion. And I think that's what that one's called. So I wanted to show you those because I think that when you look at these, you'll know that going back to school, if you already know how to do hardanger, and most of you are here really do, or at least have learned the beginnings of hardanger, you could take yourself on this journey of learning this September. That's kind of what I was trying to get out. So this is more like the Christmas colors, but you don't have to follow these colors. You can still do whatever colors you like. This one, and then this one. These ones are more like the initial ways of learning how to do these. These are actually a little bit easier than the first ones I showed you, but that still gives you that amazing like possibilities, right, of weaving. And is this the Struvor? I can't remember anymore. And then there's this one as well. So all of these are for level 6 of the Beyond Cross Stitch series. And Beyond Cross Stitch patterns have been around for quite a long time. So many people have actually learned so much from them. Level 5 is the beginning level of hardanger, but level 6 is actually the advanced level. And if you've already mastered some of the beginner stitches, then you should take that course. Honestly, the level 6 course is such a wonderful challenge for those of you who, drool at the sight of this kind of white on white bounty. I hope that you're thinking about that. Dorothy Wendell says, what size silk ribbon do you usually use in your designs? Usually it is a 4mm silk ribbon. There are some times when you saw these, for instance, the pink flowers were made with 7mm, I believe. It could be that it's even bigger than that, but I think they were 7mm. And Lisa said, I love finishing both cross-stitch wall hangings. I bet you did, because they look gorgeous, as you know. Donna, you love doing those. I know. You know, when you first start doing anything to do with tone on tone, pulled thread, anything that where you do a bit of cut work and then finish it off, it always makes me feel like I'm back in the, 1600s, even though that's not what other people think of. It's make me feel like that. Then I've got the long flowing gown on, and then I'm sitting at my window in the castle, and I just get this feeling, and it really makes me feel like I'm part of a long history of needleworkers learning to do new things. So I just wanted to show you those. And finally, this is for those of you who love cross stitch and have someone to stitch this for. This could be something that you absolutely love to do this time of year. It is called Old MacDonald Farm, and this one, I wanted to feature this in our newsletter today, so I thought I'd show it to you in person here. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Actually, it's really fun to also create this or parts of this for any grandchildren you might have. There's the E-I-E-I-O. And, the scenes in here are perfect for a cross stitcher wanting to do something fun for summer farm living, because August, really, there's a lot of farming going on right now and a lot of people harvesting their bounty already. So I hope that Old MacDonald Had a Farm is something that you also enjoy. Those of you who have seen them before, that's okay. You get to see them again. Marty says, harding is one of my favorite techniques. It really is. Joanna, you have stitched Old MacDonald Farm. I didn't know that. I know that it's just such a fun thing. I don't know if you had enjoyed it, but each of the scenes, like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cross-stitch scenes, and each one of them is not as wide as the rest, but each one of them has its own little thing going on, right? This one's the biggest, and of course then this one, and then these 3 in between. Those scenes can be done separately on, and framed separately. They don't have to all go in one sampler if you don't want to. So they're kind of fun for people who have done, who really like the farms, and also who have people that they would like to give those things to, because, kids really love the farm ones as well. Lisa says, I love stitching Old MacDonald's Farm. The color, you did that one too, didn't you? The colors are so much fun. They are really fun. Joanna says, I've done all the farms. Well, then I'd better get busy and make another one. Okay, just kidding. I'm going to be very busy with the new bling tree. I'm really looking forward to that idea. And also we have another idea as well that will be stitched, which is the Christmas drum pin cushion we're thinking of. And then there's a possibility for a stitching holiday. So hello, lots of ideas today. Just, nothing that we can put our fingers on yet, but except the only thing is the Beyond Cross Stitch wonderful courses that are in our Victoria Sampler Academy. I said, oh, okay, well, it's time to do the old field orchard farm then, Lisa. I'm going to do an angel card now for everyone who has been kind enough to join me here today, and those of you who are watching this later. I have to always make sure that I'm not looking. Oh. Okay, those angels, honestly, I had no idea this was coming, but look at that. Open your mind to new ideas. That is just like, isn't that uncanny? Thank you, angels. Everyone, open your mind to new ideas. Think of something new, because honestly, I'm going to put that one in the back here, because I have to remember that that's okay. It's to think of new ideas, and that, when you are only thinking of the things you're always used to doing, that is comforting, but new ideas give you life and energy and enthusiasm and inspiration. And that's what this little half hour for us is really, really important for me to have that feeling of inspiration. And those of you who are here, you give me that inspiration by just giving me feedback, etc. So nice, so wonderful. Okay, good card, exactly. Marty says the work in progress for you this weekend was the August cottage and to prep and start the Christmas crackers. Thank you for your report. Look forward to that. And another perfect card, exactly. I don't know how we managed that one, honestly. Okay, the angels did that, okay? Nothing to do with me, nothing. Unbelievable. Well, those of you who joined us here and those of you who are watching later, thank you so much for your attention and for your kindness and for your contributions. Really important. Looking forward to the new Bling Tree 2 and also the Christmas drum pin cushion. So those two designs have to be on the way. If I don't do it, then I'm, just talking ideas. I'm not actually doing them, right? They have to be done. So I'll be sure to do a lot of work this weekend on those designs. So Donna, get ready for the drum pin cushion. It's coming your way. Thank you again, all of you. I hope you have a great weekend and that your stitching is awesome this week. I also think that if you're stuck inside with, whether it's too hot, too cold, too rainy, too anything, stay indoors and stitch. It's really good for you. Okay. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a wonderful week. See you next Friday.